Hello students, welcome to KENE'S Educare, a group of KENE solutions. This is part 7 of lesson number 12, sound. So as we are on to part 7 now, this is going to be the last second part, because in the next part I'm going to start with the summary part, and there are like 22 exercise questions which you all know, right? So in the next part, that is part 8, I'm going to discuss the summary and the exercise question. So make sure you are revising each and everything very thoroughly over here in this part, because this is your last kind of revision. Next part you can consider it to be a test or a good revision that we will be doing, because we will not be discussing any of the concept, right? We are going to like discuss the output of what you have understood. So you are going to be the one who is going to try to answer. I'll be definitely giving you the answers for them, how to do it, but everything will be done by you, because once I end that part, you will have to write the answers in your own words. Okay? So framing your answer, making sure that your paper looks like clean. Okay? If you're writing something and if like it goes wrong, don't scribble on the paper. You have to make sure that your paper presentation is good. So everything you're going to practice while you write the answers for the questions that are given at the end. So we are not just writing it. And if you remember in part 1, I told you to write like whatever information you had on sound, right? Today we'll do the same. Once I complete with all the topics, I'll make you all write whatever you know about the lesson in short. Okay, but and then just compare the, you can say, the topics that you knew before starting the lesson and after starting the lesson. It means you have learned something, right? And if you're learning something, if you're acquiring knowledge, that is like one of the most essential thing that we all want to focus on, right? So now, before I start with this part, I want each one of you to please revise the notes that you have with y'all, because that is very essential from my end as well as for you. If you are revising it, you will be knowing what exactly, you can say, what exactly you're dealing with, right? And the concepts will be clear to you, which for me is very important for you all to do. Okay, so everyone, please start revising whatever notes you have in your book. Like in part 1, if you remember, we have discussed many basic points, so you have to go through that as well. And whatever you have written during the time I was teaching you, you can write, you have to revise that as well. Okay. I hope every one of you have started revising and like you are almost done with the revision part. I want you all to be very much thorough with the concepts that we have studied so far. Okay? And if you have any doubt, please reach out to us. So we started the lesson by discussing on production of sound along with an activity. Everyone please quickly go through the slide. You should be able to explain the observation and conclusion for the activity again. Okay? After studying about production of sound, we discussed on propagation of sound as well, right? How exactly the sound propagates through the medium. And now we all know that the medium can be either it can be liquid, it can be solid, or it can be gas as well, right? So you have to be thorough with this as well, everyone. After this propagation of sound, we discussed on propagation of sound through air. So I want each one of you to please revise it, everyone. After this, we discussed on vibrating object producing a series of compression and rarefaction. So this is how the compression and the rarefactions of the vibrating object looks like. Okay. So after this vibrating object, we discussed on that sound needs a medium to travel. Now we know that this medium can either be a solid, liquid, or a gas, right? And one more important thing that you need to know is sound does not travel in a vacuum. Now you can get this as you can say objective, either as fill in the blanks, true or false, or anything, but you need to know that sound does not travel in vacuum. Okay. Then we discussed about the longitudinal waves, that sound waves are longitudinal waves. But there's one more kind of wave which we know it as transverse wave. And we need to know the difference between longitudinal wave and transverse wave. Okay. After this, we discussed on the characteristics of the sound wave, and I hope every one of you are going through it again. After this characteristics, we discussed on the density or pressure, how exactly the crest and the trough flows through, the density and pressure, right? So I want each one of you to please go through this, like how the compression, rarefaction, and crest and trough looks like. Then after this, we discussed on the frequency of the sound wave, and over here you can see the diagram. You might have revised it as well, that short wavelength means there will be lots of waves, high frequency, high sound, and long wavelength means there will be fewer waves, low frequency and low sound, right? I hope every one of you are going through this. After this, we discussed on the time period of the sound wave. So over here we have the definition for the time period, as well as we have the formula for that. So please go through it, everyone. After this time period, we discussed on the amplitude of the sound wave. So everyone, please go through the amplitude of sound wave as well. Then after this amplitude, we discussed on the wavelength and the amplitude part, like what is the difference between them, right? So please go through the slide as well, everyone. You should be knowing the difference between wavelength and amplitude. Then after this, we discussed on pitch and loudness of sound, and I want you all to please go through it as well. After this pitch and loudness of sound, like we discussed more about amplitude, and here they have stated that loudness of the sound it depends upon the amplitude of vibration. So if the amplitude is bigger, the sound will be loud, and if the amplitude is smaller, the sound will be soft. Okay, and the waves are also been shown, how will be the crest and the trough, what will be the wavelength, everything has been given in the diagram, right? So I hope you all are going through it. Then after this, we discussed on the speed of the sound. So I hope every one of you are going through this. After this, we discussed on speed of sound in different medias at 25 degrees Celsius. So I want you all to please go through it quickly. After this, we discussed on reflection of sound, and then we discussed on echo and reverberations, right? So I want you all to please go through it quickly. So here we have about echo and reverberation. I want each one of you to please go through it quickly. I hope every one of you are going through the slide. Then we even discussed on the uses of multiple reflection of sound. So I want you all to please go through this slide as well. This is also one of the important slide where you get to know about the multiple reflection of sound, where exactly they have been used, right? After this, we will be discussing on like the range of hearing. I guess we have even discussed that, right? So please revise it, and then I'll show you that slide as well, and then we will move on with the further part. Then we discussed on the range of hearing, and I want you all to please go through it quickly. Now we need to discuss about solar, like ultrasonic sound, uses of ultrasonic sound, right? So see, you know what exactly ultrasonic sound is. So what are the uses? Where are we using this ultrasonic sounds? Now the question is that, right? So ultrasonic sound is used to clean objects like electronic components. So all the different electronic components that we have, that can be cleaned using this ultrasonic sound, and we can even keep them in cleaning solution, and ultrasonic waves are sent into the solution. So let's say you have taken a solution, what will you do? You'll give the component in that solution, and then you will allow the ultrasonic wave to pass through that solution. So that is also one of the way of like using ultrasonic waves or ultrasonic sound. Okay. And now because ultrasonic sounds, they have high frequency, the dirt particles get detached from the components. What happens? All the dirt particles which are present in the electronical components are going to get detached because of the high frequency of the ultrasonic sound. Okay, this is the first use of ultrasonic sound. Other use of ultrasonic sound is like we can use it to detect the cracks in the metal blocks. Now if you have a metal block and you're not able to identify if like there's a crack on in that or not, so we can use an ultrasonic sound for that as well. Okay, so ultrasonic waves are sent through the metal block, and if there are cracks, the waves will get reflected back and the cracks can be detected. So because the waves are getting reflected back, it becomes easier to detect the cracks. Okay, then we can even use them in ultrasound scanners for getting the image of the, you can say, internal organs of the human body. Now you might be aware of it, where like if you are having or suffering from uh, disease or any kind of problem with your body, as and when the doctor suggests that you need to have an ultrasound, you go and have it, right? So what has been done in that? The image of your internal organ of the body has been taken, right? Then the fourth thing that they have given is ultrasonic sound is used to break small stones formed in the kidneys into fine grain so that they are removed through the urine. So you know kidney stone. So kidney stones can be removed through urine by breaking those small stones using this ultrasonic sound. This is one of the best use of ultrasonic sounds, you can say. Okay. I hope you all are writing the uses of ultrasonic sound. Now the next thing that we have is about sonar. You know, sonar is a short form. So sonar stands for sound, navigation and ranging. What does sonar stands for? Sound, navigation and ranging. Okay, so sonar is a device which uses ultrasonic waves to measure distance, direction and speed of underwater objects. Why sonar has been used? See, again, sonar is an ultrasonic device, okay, which is going to have an ultrasonic wave. So we can use this device which has this ultrasonic waves to measure the distance, direction and speed of underwater objects. So any object which is under the water, the speed of that underwater objects can be measured using this sonar, and that is why the full form of it is sound, navigation and ranging. Okay, so this sonar has a transmitter and a detector which is installed in the ship. So can you see the detector and the transmitter which has been installed over here? We have a detector and a transmitter which is attached at the bottom of the ship, and the transmitter produces ultrasonic sound waves which travel through the water, and after striking the object in the seabed gets reflected back to the detector. Now what transmitter is doing? The role of transmitter is just strike the object in the seabed and produce an ultrasonic sound, and that ultrasonic sound will be detected by the detector. Okay, so the distance of the object can be calculated by knowing the speed of sound in water and time taken between the transmission and reception of ultrasound. How can we know the distance of the object? By calculating the speed of sound in water and the time that it takes for transmission and reception of ultrasound. Okay, so if the time taken for transmission and reception of ultrasound is t, time taken is small t, and the distance traveled is 2 times, so 2d by the ultrasound, then we get the value as 2d is equal to v into t. Getting it? So here we have the function of the transmitter and the detector, full form of sonar, why it has exactly been used, right? So I want you all to please take a note of it in your book. I hope every one of you are writing about this in your book, and even you need to write about, you need to draw the ship and label the sonar, like detector and the transmitter in the sonar. Okay. I hope every one of you have started writing about this. I hope you all are writing about this sonar in your book. After this, the last part that we have for this lesson is the structure of the human ear. See, now the outer ear that we have, that we can touch and feel, that is like easily been seen, that is called as pinna, and the function of the pinna is to collect all the sound wave, because of which the sound wave enters your ear, it enters your middle ear. Okay, so pinna is your outer ear, you have middle ear, and then you have an inner ear. There are three parts in short. Okay, so the sound wave which has been collected by the pinna, it passes through the ear canal to a thin membrane, and we call that thin membrane as ear drum. What do we call that as? We call that as ear drum. Okay, so pinna, whatever sound will be connected by the pinna, sound waves, that will be sent back to the ear canal, and ear canal is going to share that with a thin membrane which is known as ear drum. So what happens now? We know that vibration is needed for the sound, like so that the sound will be audible to you, right? So the eardrum will vibrate, and the vibrations are amplified by three bones of the middle ear called as hammer, anvil, and stirrup. Can you see the hammer, anvil, and stirrup? These are the three bones which are present in the middle ear, and you know stirrup is the smallest bone of our body. Okay, so the middle ear then transmits the sound wave to the inner ear, where your inner ear is going to transmit the sound waves to your brain by converting the sound waves to electrical signal by cochlea, and then it is sent to your brain through the auditory nerves, and the brain then interprets the signal as sound. So your pinna is sending the sound waves to the ear canal is passing it to the eardrum, the eardrum vibrates, because of which the vibrations have been produced in the middle ear, right? And from middle ear, the sound travels the inner ear. Inner ear is going to convert the sound wave to electrical signal by cochlea, and is going to send back send it to the brain through the auditory nerves, and this is how the brain interprets the signal as sound, and you are able to know like what exact sound has been produced. Okay. I hope you all are writing it in your book, and you have to even draw it. Okay. You need to label the diagram as well for this. After this, now we have like a summary and the exercise question, which I'm going to start with in the next class. So I'm going to show you all the exercise questions one by one. Please go through them quickly, everyone. I hope you all are going through the exercise question. So altogether we have 22 questions that we will be discussing at the end. Well, like you are the one who are going to try them, and as you can see there are some numericals as well. So I'll be helping you with what kind of formula you can use, what are the steps that you can follow, but you will have to solve them on your own. Okay? So this is how we will be ending up with the lesson sound, and I hope that each one of you have understood whatever we discussed till now for this lesson, right? So I'll be ending up with this lesson now, and I'll be continuing with the rest of the part that we are left with in the next class. Thank you everyone.